Crispy, sweet, lemony phyllo pastry, paired perfectly with creamy custard. It's a match made in heaven. Hi friends, and welcome back to Lila at Home in another episode of Memory Bites. Today we are making Xalacto Bureko. Chris mentioned this in his newsletter. Find the link to his website in the description below. Let's hear what Chris says about Xalacto Bureko.
Hi Lila, thank you for featuring Galacto Bureko on Memory Bites. Galacto Bureko is a Greek dessert that almost no non-Greeks have heard of. I try to stay away from desserts, but if I see Galacto Bureko on the menu, I always get it. I know about Galacto Bureko because a childhood friend's mom would make it a couple times every year. I can still remember eating it even now. A couple of years ago, I was on an early date with my now wife when we passed a Greek street fair, and I saw a stall selling Galacto Bureko. I had to buy it. I guess my wife was surprised and it stuck in her mind because I usually don't eat anything sweet. So for my birthday this year, my wife surprised me by making Galacto Bureko. I'm so glad you enjoyed making it and that it turned out so well.
Chris sent me the recipe and added that they halved the sugar, but he thought it was still too sweet. The recipe that he sent used a total of 1 kg of sugar. That's more than 2 pounds. This is typical of Greek desserts. Most of this sugar is in the syrup poured on top of the baked goods. I thought I'd try and cut the sugar down further to 1/3. Let's see how that goes. Find the list of ingredients with conversion in the description below. First, let's make this sugar syrup. Pour 1 cup of water into a small pot on medium heat, then add 250 grams of sugar. This is where I reduced most of the sugar from 800 grams. Add a 10 centimeter cinnamon stick and zest from 1 lemon. I like to use this julienne peeler. It makes a thin strip of zest that look nice on the dessert. Juice the lemon and set aside. Don't stir the pot and let it come to boil. Once it comes to boil, give it a stir and check that all the sugar has dissolved. Take it off the heat. Add the lemon juice and 75 grams of honey. I'm using raw honey in this one. Stir well and set aside. The syrup needs to be cold when poured on the baked dessert. Next, let's prepare the semolina custard. Put a large pot on medium heat and add 2 cups of milk, 2 cups of cream, and about 50 grams of sugar. Don't stir. The sugar at the bottom of the pot prevents the milk from scalding. When you start seeing steam coming from the surface of the milky cream, you can start whisking in 170 grams of semolina in portions. Keep on whisking so you don't get lumps. Once the mix thickens up considerably, take it off the heat. Add in 1 tablespoon vanilla essence. I make my own vanilla essence by adding vanilla pods to a small bottle of vodka. Stir in the vanilla and set aside while you whisk the eggs. Into a large mixing bowl, add 4 eggs and 50 grams of sugar. With an electric mixer, whisk the eggs till light and fluffy. This may take about 8 to 10 minutes. When you stop the mixer and lift the beaters and see thick ribbons fall from the beaters and stay briefly on the surface, you know that it's thick enough. Now it's time to combine the creamy semolina and the whisked eggs. While the creamy semolina is still warm, add in 100 grams of cube butter and stir till all the butter is melted. This would further cool down the semolina mix. We don't want the semolina mix to be too hot, as this would just scramble the eggs. Take 1/3 of the egg mix and gently fold it in the semolina. This tempers the creamy semolina custard. When this is thoroughly mixed, take another third and fold it in gently. Finally, add in the last of the egg mix and again fold it in gently. You don't want to lose too much of the volume that we whisked into the eggs. Now it's time to assemble your halakto bureko. Preheat your oven to 160 Celsius or 320 Fahrenheit on fan bake. Take out your phyllo sheets and lay the pile on a slightly damp tea towel to prevent drying. Brush the tray with melted butter and lay a sheet of phyllo. Drizzle some butter on the sheet. And then, depending on how big your tray is, fold the overlap. Drizzle some more butter and keep on layering the phyllo sheets until you have about 6 layers. For this batch, I'm going to make 1 tray and also 1 tray of halakto bureko rolls. Pour the custard in the nest of phyllo sheets. I'm using half the custard for the tray bake. Fold over the edges and drizzle some more butter on the folded edges. Cover the custard with a layer of 4 phyllo sheets. Using the buttered brush, tuck in the edges so that the custard is completely encased in the phyllo sheets. Now for the halakto bureko rolls, work from the pile of sheets. Drizzle some melted butter on half the sheet and fold the other half over. Put about 3 tablespoonfuls of the custard at one end, fold in the edges, then roll the custard in the phyllo. Place on a tray lined with baking paper. Continue with the rest of the phyllo and custard. It helps to count how many sheets you still have on the pile, so you can divide the custard up accordingly. Make ridges with the baking paper so that the rolls don't touch each other on the sides. This makes it easier to serve individual rolls out later, and to pack them up for the freezer. Make slits on the top of the pastry for steam to escape. Now it's ready to bake. Place the tray on the top rack so that the bottom of the pastry gets cooked evenly. The tray of rolls can be on the middle rack. Bake till the phyllo is golden and crispy. Go by the color of the pastry, not by the time. You may need to rotate the trays for an even golden pastry. As soon as you take the tray out of the oven, drizzle with a cold sugar syrup. Now let rest for at least 30 minutes for the syrup to fully absorb in the baked custard. I gave some to a Greek friend to try. He absolutely loved it. He thought the less sugar was fine. He also added that he would happily be guinea pig for any other Greek dishes I want to try out. So, if you have any favorite Greek dishes, comment below. I packed the rolls in an airtight container and froze. One of the reasons why I wanted to make them as rolls is because I wanted to freeze them and then see how it is out of the freezer. So this one I took out of the freezer and put in a cold oven and put it on fan bake for 160 degrees Celsius or 320 degrees Fahrenheit. And I left it in for about 30-35 minutes, and let's have a taste. So you can hear that it actually is still crispy. Half an hour in the oven heated the whole thing through. It's perfect to reheat. If you enjoyed this episode of Memory Bites making halakto bureko, hit that like button and subscribe. That way you won't miss out on any future episodes. Check out the Memory Bites playlist, or you can also check out the In the Kitchen playlist. Thanks for watching. Until next time, eat well. Bye.